Has Ariana Grande been cheating on her husband? Why is Doja Cat lashing out at her fans? And what is the real reason that Twitter is rebranding into X? So as we know, news broke this week that not only was Ariana Grande splitting from her husband of 2 years, Dalton Gomez, but she was also already involved with someone else, her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater, who coincidentally is also very much married. He's been married to his college sweetheart Lily J for about 5 years now, but they've been together for 10, and last year they welcomed their first child. They separated a few months ago, likely somewhere around the time that Ariana separated from Dalton. Then they both started filming Wicked in the UK last year. According to Entertainment Tonight, Lily J is said to be devastated over the entire situation. A source close to her spoke to the outlet and said this is not the future that she had in mind. Quote, "She's doing her best to get back on her feet. She's incredibly smart and driven. She is truly the best mother." And just last November, Ethan posted an anniversary tribute to his wife on Instagram, where he wrote, "My best friend, 4 years married, 10 years together. And this is easily the best and most bizarre year yet." But the craziest part about all of this is that Ariana liked the post. So that somehow makes everything more icky. And that wasn't the only post that she interacted with from his Instagram. On May 14th, he uploaded a photo of his son and dedicated a post to Lily for Mother's Day, where he wrote, "Happy first Mother's Day to the most loving, caring, and wonderful mom/person in the world." And yes, Ariana liked that one too. Also, keep in mind that this was only 2 months ago. And to add to that, their baby is not even a year old yet. So how is he able to move on so fast? Hardly any of this makes sense. Even some of Ariana's fans are having trouble defending her, because just from these details, it sounds like there was infidelity involved. According to TMZ, the sources said that 2 of them started dating several months ago while filming. But if it was back in May, that was around the time that Ethan made the Mother's Day post. It also doesn't help that people have started looking at Ariana's past relationships, where there were also accusations of cheating. And this goes as far back as 2013. One of her very first public romances was with Jai Brooks from the Janowskians. After less than a year together, she started dating the singer Nathan Sykes, and they released a single together called Almost Is Never Enough. But after she moved on with Nathan, Jai accused her of cheating on him. He wrote a very lengthy message on a website called Twitlonger, basically calling her out for infidelity. He wrote, "Yes, I was cheated on. Yes, it does suck. Yes, I was left for another man. And this happens every day to so many people of every age, race, and gender. I happen to be one of those people, and I'm in a situation where I'm constantly reminded of it every day." Then about 2 years later in 2016, Glee actress Naya Rivera claimed that she'd caught Ariana at her ex Big Sean's house when they were still engaged. In her memoir, she wrote, "We'd been fighting for 5 days straight while he was traveling, and then on one day that he was back in LA, he said that he didn't want to see me. Well, a-hole, I've got a key to your house. I walk in, go downstairs, and guess what? Little girl is sitting cross-legged on the couch listening to music. It rhymes with Smariana Smande." Naya said that she had learned that she was no longer getting married from the internet at the same time as the rest of the world, which sounds absolutely brutal. There's no doubt that Big Sean is equally at fault here, but it still doesn't look good for anyone involved. And remember Pete Davidson's ex Cassie David? Well, she said that he dumped her one day before learning that he was dating Ariana. Not only that, but some fans have reported that Dalton Gomez's ex-girlfriend Ricky Barton posted a photo on her Instagram story when the 2 of them started dating. In the caption she wrote, "When you see your ex with the person they told you not to worry about." So when you step back and take a look at everything, yes, you do notice a pattern. Even though we'll never be able to know every single detail about these stories since they're very one-sided. In many ways though, silence does imply guilt, and the fact that Ariana hasn't addressed any of these claims or even tried to correct them is very telling. Even her rumored new boyfriend is being extra quiet. Just hours after the news broke of their relationship, he set his Instagram to private, though at the time he had close to 85,000 followers. Does that mean that he did something wrong? Well, not necessarily, but again, we don't need to know absolutely everything about the story to sense that something is fishy. It just doesn't sit right no matter which way you look at it. So unless one of them speaks out about this and denies their reports, it's going to stay that way. Now it seems like no one hates her fans more than Doja Cat, so she started calling out some of her stans for creating their own unofficial nickname for her loyal fan base, because she said she didn't sign off on it and she clearly hates the name. She went on a really big Twitter rant and wrote, "My fans don't get to name themselves. If you call yourself a kitten or effing kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house." Of course, her fans did not take too kindly to that, and one of them even questioned her post. They claimed that they were only using that name that she gave them. Doja then tried to justify her remarks and explain that she made the name when she was an alcoholic teen, so obviously they shouldn't be using it. But the rant was not over yet, because she then slammed another another fan account for using her government name as their social media handle. She wrote, "You making my government name your screen name is creepy as F." She then suggested that fans delete all the accounts that reference her in any way. In response, one person wrote, "What should I change my name to since you don't like the term kitten?" And Doja wrote, "Just delete the entire account and rethink everything. It's never too late." Well, you can pretty much guess what kind of uproar this caused in the kitten community. After all, there's only so much hate that a fan base can take. People genuinely couldn't understand why she was slandering her own fans just because they gave themselves a name like every other fan base out there. There were also some people calling her out for hypocrisy, seeing that the word cat is literally in her name. So it's not that crazy that her fans would choose something based on that. At this point, people started to pile on, accusing her of biting the hand that feeds her by alienating the very people that got her to where she is now. Doja eventually deleted the tweets and instead decided to post something about her upcoming tour, almost as though nothing had happened. It seems like someone asked her to take it down, considering that she still needs to fill those seats at the end of the day. But selling those tickets might be a little more difficult now with everything that's been going on. And a lot of it comes down to her controversial relationship with Twitch streamer Jay Cyrus, who's been accused of being racist and manipulating fans. When her fans took to Twitter to question her decision to be with him, she apparently started blocking them, basically ignoring anyone who was critical of her new relationship. Doja was first spotted with Cyrus in November last year in New York City. Towards the end of May this year, they were seen together again in Italy. They were also photographed together this month in Los Cabos, Mexico. They were basically partying on a yacht. Doja was wearing a bright orange bikini and they were seen kissing in the sun. This was extremely troubling since a number of women have recently spoken out against Cyrus and made some really shocking claims. It's been alleged that he targeted several women on Twitch between 2020 and 2022. One person tweeted, "He used his power and influence to mistreat women who watched his stream. The last count of women who came forward was close to 20. He destroyed a community of hundreds of people who trusted and admired him." And what does Doja have to say about it all? Well, in caps, she wrote, "I want y'all to read this comment and take it as a message. I don't give an F what you think about my personal life. I never have and never will give an F what you think about me or my personal life. Goodbye and good riddance." Of course, some of her fans were very disheartened by the whole thing. They called her out for not paying attention to the victims and their stories, because there are quite a lot of them now and it's really hard to ignore. There's no telling what's going to happen in the coming weeks, but this whole situation might result in her fans completely turning against her. In a way though, all of it might be intentional, considering that she's made it very clear she hated her image in the music industry, and toxic stan culture can overwhelm anyone living in the spotlight. In that case, she might just be sick to death of any kind of criticism, even if it is warranted. But we'll just have to wait and see how all of this affects her upcoming tour. Now, what is going on at Twitter? Elon Musk is changing the company's logo, and he's officially chosen a new one as a part of a massive rebrand of the platform. The new logo is just a letter X in a minimalist art style deco. Elon tweeted out a picture of the initial design, though he said that it will probably be changed at a later date and refined. Twitter's new CEO Linda Yaccarino confirmed the news on Monday by tweeting out a photo of the new logo. In the caption, she wrote, "X is here, let's do this." So now, how did they come up with this design and what's with the whole X thing? Well, Elon has been asking his followers for design ideas, and just from that he was able to narrow down his choices. Apparently he's been obsessed with the letter X for a long time. It's been a part of his plan to create an everything app that he pledged to launch at some point. In fact, before he bought the company in October, he described it as an accelerant to creating X, the everything app, and when he did take over, he folded Twitter into an entity called X Corp, whose parent is X Holding Corp. And to add to that, this month he announced that he was forming a new artificial intelligence company called XAI. The crowdsourced logo was posted by Sawyer Merritt, who is the co-founder of a sustainable clothing business. He explained that the font had been used for a discontinued podcast, though it is similar to a font used by the Indian dance music artist Kleider. The concept of the Everything app is modeled on WeChat, which is a Chinese app that allows you to do everything from messaging to ordering a taxi and paying bills. In June last year, Elon reportedly told Twitter staff, "You basically live on WeChat in China. If we can recreate that with Twitter, we'll be a great success." So that's where the business model comes from. Linda Yaccarino gave some more details of how she expected X to work, and said that the app would be AI powered and centered in audio, video, messaging, and payment/banking. And so far, they've already gotten things started. As of Monday morning, Twitter's desktop version was using the new logo in place of its signature bird symbol, and the official Twitter account had been changed to the X brand. But will will all of this even pay off in the long run? Well, it's kind of hard to say. Some business analysts have warned that the rebranding was a high-risk move because of all the competition. It's no secret that the app has been suffering financially, and it's become kind of a desert wasteland where advertisers are choosing not to spend their money. Aside from that, you also have the new Threads app launched by Meta, which has been labeled as a Twitter killer. So by changing Twitter's app name, some people think that Elon will be wiping out over 15 years of a brand name, which has firmly established itself as a big part of internet culture. At the same time, the fact that it's been around forever doesn't mean that it should never be changed. And right now, it might be a good time, considering that Twitter is just not the same place that it used to be only a few months ago. So what do you think? Is this rebrand a good idea? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.